It started quietly this time. No dramatic livestream, no Facebook war, no screaming comments, just a simple post from a new face, someone calling themselves a friend of the family. The post read, "The Whittakers are under too much pressure, please stop contacting them, the situation is worse than it looks." And just like that, the internet ignited all over again. For months, silence had hung over the Whittaker story, that eerie kind of silence that usually comes after too much noise, after the controversies with Eric Carroll, after the accusations of money mishandling, and after Patrick's own collapse from public burnout. Fans had been left guessing. The updates slowed, the family's videos dwindled, donations stopped. But then, this new voice, calm, confident, and claiming to speak for the family, appeared on Facebook, stirring old wounds back to life. They said their name was Kara. They said they lived close enough to the family to see what's really going on. And more importantly, they said, the internet attention has done more harm than good. The return of attention. Within hours, screenshots of Kara's post flooded YouTube, TikTok, and Reddit. Everyone had an opinion. Some believed her, others said it was another manipulation, but what made this different was her tone. She didn't seem to want fame or money. "They don't want cameras," she wrote. "They don't want strangers showing up, they just want peace, but people keep promising help, and it's tearing them apart." For longtime followers, it was a gut punch after everything. The donations, the cleanup drives, the emotional videos. This was the outcome? Betty was apparently sick again. Larry's health was not good. BJ had stopped showing up in any local public places, and Ray? There were rumors he'd been moved into a care facility permanently. Kara's message didn't go into detail, but it painted a grim picture. The family fractured, struggling financially, and increasingly isolated. She said that the family still hadn't received a full accounting of their previous YouTube revenue, that money, the alleged $20,000 or more in unpaid AdSense funds, had never been delivered. The lawyer Patrick once spoke to had gone silent. "The internet built them up," Kara wrote, "and the internet broke them down." The doubt and the drama. As always, the internet couldn't just listen. It had to pick a side. Within hours, a few familiar names reappeared. One small creator who had covered the Whittakers for over a year uploaded a video titled, "Who is Kara, and is she legit?" Another asked, "Did the Whittakers even authorize this new spokesperson?" People began digging. Someone found a Facebook account under the name Kara and L that had photos of the family's old house in Egeria, West Virginia. That alone was enough for half the audience to scream, "Proof," and the other half to scream, "Scam." Comments poured in. "If Kara's telling the truth, we owe this family an apology. She sounds like another person trying to get clout off their pain. Why doesn't Betty ever speak for herself?" Kara, seeing the speculation, responded late that night with another post. "I don't care what anyone thinks of me, but I see Betty crying every night. I see the stress this attention caused. They can't even go to the store without someone asking about YouTube. Stop making videos about them, please." That one word, please, hit people hard. Patrick reacts. 2 days later, Patrick finally broke his silence. He uploaded a short, quiet video. No music, no editing, just him sitting in the dark. "I didn't know Kara was gonna post anything," he began, "but I'm not mad at her, she's right. This has gone too far. Every time someone posts about them, something new breaks. The family don't need another round of strangers fighting on their behalf." He rubbed his face, clearly exhausted. "People think it's about views. It's not. It's about control. When outsiders came in and took over, the family lost more than just peace. They lost trust in everyone. I don't even know how to fix it anymore." He sighed heavily. "I thought we were doing something good, but looking back, all we did was open their door to the world, and the world kicked it in." His voice cracked near the end. The comment section exploded with sympathy, anger, and arguments. Kara's story. In a later video, Kara finally appeared on camera. She was middle-aged, soft-spoken, and clearly nervous. She said she met the Whittakers a while back, When she worked in a nearby care home, she described how she often checked in on Betty and BJ, helping them with groceries or paperwork. "They're kind people," she said. "They never asked for this." Betty didn't even understand at first what the internet was doing. All she knew was people kept showing up with cameras. Kara said she decided to speak up because she saw what the attention had done to the family emotionally. Betty cries when she sees their videos. Now she doesn't understand why people argue about her life. "She told me once, they say they love us, but they fight all the time. That broke me." She paused, eyes red. "This family doesn't need another documentary. They need help getting their house fixed. They need peace. They need quiet." Kara claimed that the stress from the online drama had led to health complications for Larry and even affected Ray's care arrangements. "There's too much outside noise. It's like people want them to fail, so there's more to talk about." That line, "so there's more to talk about," resonated with thousands of viewers. Eric's shadow. But as Kara's videos gained traction, a familiar name started reappearing in the comments: Eric Carroll. Although he hadn't spoken publicly for months, his followers began defending him fiercely again, accusing Kara of spreading misinformation and trying to rewrite the story. One of Eric's old moderators even resurfaced, posting in a private Facebook group, "I've spoken to Eric recently. He's fine. He still cares about the family, but he's tired of being painted as the villain." That only reignited the old arguments. The internet, once again, started dissecting the entire timeline. Who filmed what, who paid what, who promised what. And while all of that unfolded online, Betty and her family were reportedly without stable electricity for several days due to unpaid bills. The breaking point. Then came the most haunting update yet. In a post shared by Kara, she wrote, "Betty said she's done talking to anyone. She told me, no more cameras, no more people. She doesn't want help from anyone who's filming it. She just wants peace." Kara explained that Betty had begun refusing phone calls from former collaborators, even Patrick, saying, "I love him, but I'm tired of people saying my name." It was the first time in 2 years that the matriarch of the family, the woman whose face had symbolized both hardship and hope, had completely withdrawn from the public eye. For many fans, it felt like the final straw. One comment summed it up perfectly. "We all said we wanted to help, but we didn't help them. We helped ourselves feel better about watching their pain." Reflection. The Whittakers' story had always been complicated, part tragedy, part miracle, part cautionary tale, but now, under the weight of endless attention, it had become something darker. A story of a family trapped in the glare of good intentions gone wrong. Kara's emergence as the new representative wasn't just about controlling the narrative, it was about survival because for the first time, it seemed like the family might not recover from the attention that once saved them. What do you think about all this? Do you think Kara is genuinely protecting the family, or is she just the next person trying to control their story? Do you believe the internet has gone too far, or is this simply the consequence of fame in the digital age? Share how you feel below, because maybe the real lesson here isn't about who's right or wrong, but how much damage good intentions can really do. The days following Kara's first appearance were anything but calm. The internet, in all its messy, unpredictable power, had found its newest fault line, and once again, it was the Whittakers caught right in the middle. For Kara, what started as a plea for peace quickly became a storm of accusation. For Patrick, who had spent months trying to rebuild his image, it was another test of loyalty and patience. And for Betty, the woman at the heart of it all, the noise had finally grown unbearable. The online backlash. Within 48 hours of Kara's video going viral, reactions split across every platform. Half the viewers called her brave. Finally, someone speaking for the family without turning it into a YouTube production. The other half accused her of lying, manipulating, or seeking fame. One content creator with over 100,000 subscribers posted a reaction video titled, "The Whittakers don't need another savior." "We've seen this before," he said. "Someone new shows up claiming to protect them, but in reality, they're just trying to control access. The truth is, the family needs stability, not another gatekeeper." Comments exploded beneath the video. "Patrick's trying to move on. Now this Kara lady's bringing drama again." "Nah. Kara's right, the internet's obsessed with them, let them live." "I swear, these people use Betty's name like a currency." The debate was no longer about the family, it was about who owned the right to tell their story. Patrick's reaction. Patrick uploaded his response late one night, sitting in his truck again, the dashboard light glowed on his tired face. "I ain't mad at Kara," he began. "I know her, she's a good lady, she's been helping them when nobody else would, but I gotta make something clear. I didn't tell her to speak for me or the family." He leaned closer to the camera, his voice trembling slightly. "When you go public with anything about the Whittakers, people twist it. That's what always happens, and I'm tired of fighting with people who say they're helping." Patrick paused, eyes glancing down. "You know what? Maybe Kara's right, maybe we all need to shut up, maybe the best thing now is to let them be, but I won't sit quiet if people start using them again." That video hit differently for once. Patrick wasn't defensive, he was simply exhausted. But the internet doesn't know how to sit still. Some creators praised him for owning his mistakes, others accused him of hypocrisy, saying he only wanted silence now that the attention wasn't benefiting him. The comments turned toxic fast, with users arguing over who really cared about the Whittakers, while the actual family remained silent. Kara speaks again. 2 days later, Kara posted another video, this time from her car, her voice shaking. "I didn't come here for attention, I came here because I can't stand to see Betty suffer anymore. I've known that woman for years, and she's not doing well. Every time her name gets brought up online, she gets more anxious." She blinked back tears. "Do you know what it's like to watch someone cry because strangers are fighting about her life?" She told me, "They act like I'm not real. That broke me because she is real. She's not a meme, she's not a brand, she's a person." Kara said she'd received hateful messages, people calling her a fraud, a liar, even threatening her. "You can hate me all you want," she said, "but at least I'm still checking on them, at least I'm not making money off their name." The comments section filled with both support and skepticism. "You're the only one with empathy. This feels like deja vu. Every few months there's a new representative. If you really care, stop posting too." And that last one, "stop posting too," stuck in Kara's head. She knew they were right, but she also knew silence was dangerous. Because when people stop talking, the truth gets rewritten. The state's involvement. Then, something shifted, a quiet, serious update that cut through all the drama. A local journalist in West Virginia published a short article confirming that state welfare authorities had reopened an assessment of the Whittaker residents. The report didn't give details but cited public interest concerns and safety compliance. That phrase, public interest concerns, sent shockwaves through the online community. Had the renewed internet chaos triggered another welfare check? Was Kara's post part of an official response? Or was it just coincidence? Nobody knew for sure, but it was enough to reignite the debate. Patrick posted a brief community update saying, "I told y'all this would happen. They can't get no peace without somebody calling the state every time their name trends. It sets them back months. This ain't helping." His frustration was clear, and for once, even the people who didn't like him agreed. Inside the family. While the internet argued, life for the Whittakers continued behind closed doors. Kara posted a photo, not of the family, but of a quiet hillside near their home. The caption read, "Betty said it's the only place she feels safe now." In private messages, Kara reportedly told supporters that Betty had stopped letting anyone film, even for personal use. Larry was tired of being laughed at. BJ, she said, had been staying away most days, helping nearby relatives. The family, once surrounded by helpers and cameras, now lived in near-complete isolation. Kara said she still brought them groceries once a week, quietly, without attention, but even that made Betty uneasy. She asked me last week if I was going to post about her again. Kara said, I told her no, but she said, someone always does. Those words lingered online, quoted, shared, reposted, a painful echo of the family's exhaustion. The creator divide. By week's end, the YouTube community covering the Whittakers had fractured completely. Some declared they were done making content about the family altogether. Others doubled down, saying the public had a right to know the truth. One creator, who had once worked with Patrick, even accused Kara of taking advantage of their silence. It's the same pattern, he said. Someone comes in, earns their trust, then starts managing what gets said. The internet eats it up until they get bored. Then the next spokesperson shows up. Kara responded indirectly, posting only one sentence. I don't need to manage their story, I'm just trying to stop the bleeding. But the bleeding wouldn't stop. Because the more people claimed to protect the Whittakers, the more chaos followed them. Betty's message. Late one evening, Patrick shared a voicemail Betty had left him. Her voice was soft, confused, and filled with emotion. Patrick, I don't know what they sang, but I don't want no more people talking about us. It's too much. Tell them to stop, please just stop. That short clip spread everywhere. It was the first time Betty's own voice had been heard in months, and the pain in her tone was unmistakable. Even those who had lost interest in the story felt a sting of guilt. It was no longer a debate about money or fame or who filmed what. It was a plea for peace from a woman who had been turned into content. The turning tide. For the first time, major reaction channels began taking their videos down. Some issued apologies. Others simply said they didn't feel right covering the family anymore. But others refused. If they're in danger, silence doesn't help. One host argued, we can't just pretend it's fine because people feel guilty. That's how stories like this disappear, in silence. And maybe he had a point, because silence, for the Whittakers, had always been a double-edged sword. It offered peace, but it also allowed exploitation to continue unchecked. The division deepens. By the end of the week, Kara's videos had gained over 1 million combined views. Patrick had stopped posting altogether, and the Facebook groups dedicated to the Whittakers had split into factions, some calling for total privacy, others demanding transparency. The family, meanwhile, remained completely offline. In her last post before going quiet herself, Kara wrote, I can't do this anymore. I tried to help, but it feels like I made it worse. Please, for once, let them be. And that silence that followed wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, guilty, and uncertain. Because deep down, everyone watching knew they had helped create the very chaos now consuming the people they claimed to care about. How do you feel about what's happening now? Do you think Kara made things worse by speaking out, or was she right to tell the truth? Is it possible for the Whittakers to ever find peace after everything the internet has put them through? Share what's on your mind below, because maybe the real problem isn't who speaks for them, but why so many people keep trying to. Days turned into weeks, and the noise didn't stop. Kara had gone quiet. Patrick had deleted his most recent videos. The Whittaker family's old YouTube channel sat dormant. No new uploads, no updates, just a feed of memories that now felt heavy. But the silence didn't bring peace, it brought speculation. Rumors started again, wild, baseless, and cruel. Some said Betty had been hospitalized, others claimed the house had finally been condemned, and one viral post even alleged that Kara had run off with the family's money. It was chaos without clarity. And in that chaos, Patrick came back. Patrick breaks his silence. He didn't announce it this time. No live stream, no build-up. Just a shaky handheld video filmed outside his home. He looked thinner, his voice cracked from fatigue. I wasn't gonna say nothing, he began, but y'all need to hear the truth before it all gets twisted again. He adjusted the camera, breathing heavy. I ain't seen Betty in 2 weeks. She don't want to talk to nobody. Kara's the only one that's been around her, and that's fine. I get it, but now people saying I took money, or that I left them hanging, that ain't true. I did what I could. He paused for a long moment. I ain't perfect, I made mistakes, but I never wanted this to turn into what it's become. They don't deserve all this fighting, none of us do. Patrick explained that the family's utilities had been temporarily cut off, something Kara had helped fix with the help of local donors. He said he'd tried to send more money but was told by someone close to the family to stay out of it. So I stayed out of it, he said, but then I get blamed anyway. I can't win, nobody can. The video went viral in hours. Thousands of comments poured in, some sympathetic, others venomous. Patrick sounds broken. He's just trying to save face again. No one's thinking about Betty anymore, only about themselves. It was the same cycle: outrage, defense, guilt, repeat. Kara responds. A few days later, Kara reappeared, not on Facebook this time. On YouTube, the thumbnail showed her sitting in her car, eyes red and tired. I saw Patrick's video, she began quietly. I wasn't gonna respond, but I need to clear some things up before people start making things worse again. She looked directly into the lens, steady and deliberate. Betty didn't tell Patrick not to help. I did, because every time someone shows up trying to help, 10 other people follow. That's not help, that's attention. Kara explained that she had been working with a small local group trying to secure a safer living situation for the family. They were hoping to get them into a cleaner home before winter. I'm not stealing their money, she said, holding up her phone. I don't even have access to any account. Everything I do is documented. You can hate me if you want, but I'm not here for YouTube. Her voice trembled on that last sentence. I've watched people turn their pain into content. I've watched Betty get laughed at in videos. I can't stand it anymore. The internet was split again. She's the only one who makes sense. She's trying too hard to sound innocent. Where's Betty in all this? Let her talk. And that last comment, "Let Betty talk," became the rallying cry. The video her voice was soft and shaky. I'm okay, I don't want no more cameras, I just want to rest. That was all. 8 seconds long, and it spread like wildfire. Some called it fake, others said Kara filmed it without permission, but Kara quickly confirmed she had filmed it, saying she wanted people to know she's okay, but she didn't want to talk long. It was the first time Betty had spoken publicly in months, and maybe the most heartbreaking thing she'd ever said. Eric's shadow returns. The short clip reawakened an old ghost, Eric Carroll. After months of silence, he posted a brief message on his old page. I'm glad Betty's okay. I wish everyone had listened when I said to stop filming them. It was enough to reignite the old war. Patrick responded almost immediately. You had your chance to protect them, you didn't. Eric replied in a comment thread that quickly spiraled. I did more than anyone ever will. Don't act like you're the hero now. Their words, two men who once claimed to love the same family, now felt poisoned, and the people watching? They couldn't look away. The weight on Kara. As the online fight between Patrick and Eric grew, Kara began to fade again. She stopped replying to comments, stopped posting, and when she did speak, her tone was fragile. This is killing me, she admitted in one final live stream. All I wanted was for people to care the right way, not this way, not like this. She said Betty had grown paranoid, that she refused to open the door for anyone she didn't recognize. The mail piled up, the phone calls went unanswered. She's scared, Kara said, not of the world, but of the people who say they love her. That one line, the people who say they love her, echoed across social media. Fans, creators, and critics alike started reflecting on how their obsession with the family had crossed into cruelty disguised as compassion. Patrick's regret. Meanwhile, Patrick posted a quiet update, filmed at night. He was sitting on his porch, eyes down, voice heavy. "I never meant for any of this to happen," he said. "When I first met them, I thought I was helping. Now I don't even know what help means anymore." He rubbed his face. "If Kara's taking care of them, that's fine. I just hope she don't get burned like I did, because the internet don't love you. It just eats you up." The comments section flooded with heartbreak. This is the first time Patrick sounded real. He's finally realizing what he did. It's too late for apologies. The damage is done. The family's silence. Through it all, Betty remained quiet. No new sightings, no interviews, no posts. Locals in Raleigh County claimed she'd stopped going to town altogether. The grocery store clerk said she sent someone else to shop for her. Now others said she'd refused any help that involved filming. The family that had once been the internet's obsession was fading from view, deliberately. Kara later confirmed in a short statement, "They're safe, they just want privacy, that's all." And yet, the online noise didn't stop. People began analyzing every frame of Betty's 8-second clip, every post Kara deleted, every word Patrick said. It was like the internet couldn't accept that this story might actually end in silence. The breaking silence. Late one night, a message appeared on Kara's old Facebook page. It wasn't from her, it was from a friend. "Kara has stepped back from social media for her health. The family is being assisted by local support. Please respect their privacy." That was it. No drama, no final video, just an ending that no one wanted but everyone needed. In the comments below, people wrote apologies, prayers, confessions. Others couldn't stop asking questions. Where's Patrick? Did Betty get help? What happened to the money? But for once, no one had answers. Just silence. How do you feel about everything that's happened now? Do you think silence is finally the right path for the family? Or does the truth still need to come out? Has the internet learned anything from all of this? Or will another family end up in the same storm someday? Leave your thoughts below, because maybe this isn't just the Whittakers' story anymore. Maybe it's a reflection of all of us, and how far we're willing to go before we realize we've gone too far. It has now been over a month since Kara's final message, and the silence around the Whittaker family has only deepened. No new posts, no live streams, no updates from Patrick. The channels that once thrived on their story have gone quiet, their thumbnails replaced with generic uploads or private settings. What remains are echoes, fragments of conversations, screenshots, and speculation. But for those who followed this story from the beginning, the quiet feels heavier than any of the chaos that came before. Because for the first time, there are no cameras, no fights, no self-proclaimed saviors. Just a family hidden away in the West Virginia hills, trying to piece together what's left of their lives. The silence settles. Local residents began noticing the absence first. No more film crews pulling up on the narrow dirt road, no more cars stopping by to check in. The worn front porch where Betty once waved to visitors now sits still, with the same chair left untouched for days at a time. When asked, a neighbor simply said, "They don't want visitors anymore. They said the internet hurt them." It's strange how something that began with compassion, strangers wanting to help a struggling family, spiraled into something so destructive that the only solution was total isolation. Kara's absence added to the mystery. She hadn't posted in weeks, and her last known update mentioned stepping back for her mental health. People speculated that she'd faced serious harassment. Others said she'd moved out of state entirely. One small post, buried in a local community page, quietly confirmed that Betty and Larry were being assisted through local outreach and case management. No details, no photos. Just a reassurance that they were alive and receiving care. For many, that was enough. For others, it wasn't. The internet's reflection. Across YouTube, creators began releasing goodbye videos, reflective, somber pieces acknowledging that the Whittakers' story had gone too far. One creator, because for years the Whittaker name had become a spectacle, something to debate, dissect, and judge, and now, as the digital dust settled, many began questioning what their fascination had cost. In one discussion thread, a commenter wrote, "This is the saddest ending possible. They didn't die, but the world killed their peace." Patrick's last words. Then, quietly, Patrick reappeared. Not on YouTube, but in a short written post shared through a local community board. It read like a farewell. "I'm done with videos. I said what I needed to say. I just hope they're okay. I still check on them when I can, but they don't talk much. Betty said she forgives me. That's all that matters." Those last words, "Betty said she forgives me," hit hard for those who had followed every twist of the story. It was a small sentence, but it carried the weight of years of guilt, confusion, and broken trust. For once, Patrick wasn't defending himself. He wasn't blaming anyone. He was simply closing the chapter. And that post, though barely shared outside a few groups, became a kind of quiet ending, one that no one expected but everyone seemed to need. The community's response. In Raleigh County, a handful of residents had started organizing food and utility support for the Whittakers through local charities. One worker described the family's situation as stable but fragile. "They have what they need for now," she said. "What they don't need is cameras." That line summed up the entire tragedy. The same public that had once raised thousands of dollars for the family's benefit had also, unintentionally, destroyed their privacy. The same voices that shouted their support were also the ones who fueled online wars. And in the end, even the kindest intentions were tainted by curiosity and content. One former follower wrote in a heartfelt post, "I used to think sharing their videos was helping. Now I realize I was just feeding the machine. I hope they never have to live under a spotlight again." Kara's quiet goodbye. Weeks later, Kara's name surfaced again, not in controversy, but in gratitude. A short message appeared on a private Facebook group dedicated to helping Appalachian families. It was from Kara herself. "The family is being looked after. I'm stepping away permanently. They need peace, and I do too. Thank you to the few who understood what I was trying to do." There were no photos, no video, no follow-up. And for many, that was the most authentic update she could have given. Quiet, unglamorous, and free of drama. She had said from the beginning that she didn't want fame. And in the end, she proved it. The story fades. Gradually, the internet's attention shifted. New scandals, new viral moments, new families to analyze. The Whittakers' names stopped appearing in trending searches. The hashtags that once flooded comment sections disappeared. But for those who had truly cared, who had followed every twist and turn, the story never left them. Because behind every argument, every rumor, every tearful live stream, was a simple truth that now stood clear. This was never supposed to be entertainment. It was a glimpse into poverty, isolation, and humanity turned into content. And now, with everything gone quiet, the silence forced everyone to confront an uncomfortable truth. Maybe the internet had gone too far. A final word. Months later, one last whisper emerged from the hills of West Virginia. A small community worker, when asked about the Whittakers, simply said, "They're resting. They don't talk much about the past. Sometimes Betty sits on her porch and watches the road. She says she's waiting for peace." It wasn't a dramatic ending. It wasn't a happy one either. It was real. The story of the Whittakers, and the people who claimed to help them, became a cautionary tale about what happens when empathy meets exploitation. In trying to give them a voice, the internet took their peace. In trying to make them known, the world made them tired. And maybe now, at last, they have what they wanted all along: silence. How do you feel about how this story ended? Do you think silence was the only way for the Whittakers to find peace? Or do you believe the internet still owes them something: justice, truth, or accountability? Share your thoughts below, and reflect on what we can all learn from this. Because maybe the real story isn't about who filmed them or who spoke for them. It's about what happens when compassion turns into control, and when a family's pain becomes the world's pastime. Thank you for watching this video. Click here to watch another video that might interest you.